Welcome to Business Connect, a podcast produced and presented by the City of Miramar in the great state of Florida, the gateway to the Caribbean and Latin America. This podcast airs every third Thursday in the month at 7 p.m. and brings you information, tips, and ideas from experts to take your business to the next level. We also get to hear from folks who have done it all and can share insights with you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Johnny Douglas.
Welcome to the City of Miramar's Business Connect, where we connect your business to what's important. I am Johnny Douglas, your host for today. I am so excited and so proud to have with me Miss Anthea Pennant Wallace. She is with the Broward College. I'm going to let her introduce herself to you in a moment, but I wanted to say that our topic today is very, very important and very, very dear to my heart as well. When you have a business, the business, how do you handle and how do you start and set business goals? Especially if you're a small business and you're trying to get into that world of government procurement projects that are going on. So how do you set business goals to reach that pinnacle in your business? And so we have with us today
Anthea Pennant Wallace, recently married, and I am the Associate Vice President for Adult and Community Education at Broward College, and I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, we are so glad to have you here. You know, one of the things that I know that is dear to you is when you work with small businesses and you kind of give them a platform and a way to upscale their business. But also not just for small business, for the community at large, how you work with that and impact them, and adults. How do you do that? So through your business and through what you do with Broward College, we applaud you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We are about educating our community because education really is the key. And when it comes to government contracting, it is one of those tools, and I like to think of it as a tool that you should have in your arsenal of business strategy to help you get your business to the next level. What I know for sure is that when you talk to large corporations, many of them will tell you that how they were able to get their first big start was because of access to a government bid. And so I'm often encouraging small business owners to tap into that resource. It is a resource, it's available, it's your tax dollars being used to buy goods and services, and you are certainly entitled to taking a chance. I've been a longtime advocate for government contracting. I believe that small businesses all need to take a chance in accessing government contracts. And so that's my advocacy, and I'm educating businesses all the time about what they should do in order to set themselves up, the goals that they need to set in order to be able to be ready to access these government contracts.
You know, you said something very important here, and I'm hoping that the listening audience picked up on that. One of the things you said was setting goals. And I think when you're going after government jobs as a small business owner, first of all, it seems like you're going up against giants, you know.
Right.
Because you get this fear like, wow, I'm going up against and competing with other major companies. How will I stand out?
Right. And the truth is, I mean, if you're in business, you already are on a good path to getting access to a government contract. And any of the government agencies, they have a process for you to register your business and then get your business certified. And so these two processes will help get you on a path to readiness. So, you know, as long as you decide that you want to access a government contract, these are some of the things that you should start doing, looking at registering with a government agency and then getting certification. But even before that, if you decide that, you know, the process may seem too laborious and I don't want to invest just yet, one of the first steps I often encourage business owners to do is to go on Demand Star. If you go on Demand Star, you can, and it's a website that you can go on, and it will allow you to see what government agencies are buying. Even if you haven't even started a business and you're contemplating starting a business, it might be a good insight for you to see what government agencies are buying, what goods and services are they buying, and then you can build your company based on being able to provide that good or service to whichever government agency you're looking to do business with.
Oh, wow. You're saying so many wonderful things. I love what you just said about going on Demand Star and finding out what municipalities are asking for. What are they looking for? What are they selling? What are they soliciting for? And finding out how does your business fit into those schemes, and the capacity of your work can fit into that scheme of what they're looking for.
Right. The good news is that government buys more goods and services than any other entity, right? And I think sometimes we need to also define a government agency, because I think some business owners may think it is only Broward County government or the school board, but we have government agencies from, as you say, the municipal levels all the way to the federal government. And so, if you're a new business, maybe you're not ready to play in the federal government realm, but certainly, the city that you live in, like City of Miramar, that is so open to doing work with their residents and with small business owners, take a chance and go ahead and register with the city's procurement office or small business office and see what that process is. Because once you learn the process, then it gives you the courage and the confidence to move your strategy to the next level. And so maybe you'll decide, let me try the county, But it's really deciding as a business owner that I am interested in running a successful business. And in order to do so, I want to make sure that I can level up my business capacity. And accessing a government contract will force you to do so, because you also have to have all of your ducks in a row when you're doing business with government, because they're not going to play around, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
They want to make sure that you paid your taxes and that you have good credit. So, if that's something that you're looking to do, access a government bid, that should be one of your goals, making sure that your credit is right, because bonding is often required, and sometimes in order for you to access a bond, you have to have good credit.
Yeah.
And another goal that I think is really important for business owners is to make sure that you're paying your taxes. It's really important. It's one of the things that I think some business owners decide they'll just do cash payments, and they don't necessarily want to declare all the monies they make. But just think about it. If I'm a bank and you're coming to me and you're looking to ask me for a loan, and I see that you've been in business for 3 years, but you're barely making any money, and you're not paying your taxes, what that says to me is that you're not a responsible citizen, right? And so it really is very important that you are doing your due diligence, you're paying your taxes, and you're showing exactly what you make, especially in those early years. I know people hear about business owners who are trying to avoid paying as much taxes and so on and so forth. And maybe when your company is really big and you can underwrite certain things, then that may work. But in the early phase of your business, you certainly need to make sure that you are doing everything that you can to declare your income.
Absolutely, absolutely. I hear a lot of transparency in what you're saying. As a business owner, you gotta have to be transparent about what you're doing, and especially when it comes to your financial records and everything.
Right.
But my question for you
Transparent
is,
and integrity.
Yes, and integrity. Absolutely.
Just being,
Absolutely.
It starts from there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And because that way, I think a bank would look at you even differently, like, okay, well, no.
Right.
I see the integrity here. I see the transparency here. Okay, I think we can trust him or trust them with this amount of money. It may start off low, but once you take care of that and you start, it's a process.
Yes, it is.
It's a process in getting getting to that.
Yeah.
It's one of the processes that I think that businesses fail to do and it's why we're here, is setting business goals. One of them I'd like to ask you about is when you're setting goals, what do you mean by specific business goals? And how does that help businesses when they're planning to go after government contracts?
Well, I would say in terms of specific goals, first you have to decide whether or not you're up for the challenge, right? You have established a business because you're passionate about whatever it is, whatever good or service you're trying to sell. You have a history, obviously, of doing this work. So you should feel a sense of confidence that you can move forward in accessing a government bid. A capability statement is really very important. That should be one of the goals, that you should get your capability statement in place. And you can Google that. I would make that a goal. And the reason why I express the importance of getting a capability statement done is because it becomes almost like your resume for your business, right? So if you are trying to look for a job, you need to have your resume in place before you start looking for a job. And I think when you start working on your capability statement, sometimes it forces you to really think about your business in a very constructive way, right? Because there are certain elements that you have to put, your years of experience, your accomplishment. It forces you to start thinking, am I really good at this? If you can articulate on that capability statement the things that you are really good at, that you're trying to sell to the government, right? The good or the service. So a capability statement is a key. I think it's also important for you to register with the government agency. They need to know that you exist. Now, some of that is time consuming, and so you may not be able to register with all of the government agencies. Decide which government agency you want to register with, right? So depending on the product that you're selling, if you're selling paper, right, maybe you can sell paper to any of the government agencies because whether it's the sheriff's office, the school board, or the city, they're probably all using paper on some level.
Right.
But if your product is a specialty product, maybe they're not in the market to do that, perhaps, right? So that's why accessing Demand Star is so important, because it will give you a clue as to what government agencies are buying. And so that's a good way to get started. So I would say the capability statement is one thing to think about. Access to Demand Star might be another thing that you could do. Making sure your credit is on track, registering with the government agencies, and it depends on where you are. I know some of your viewers may have done some of this already, right? But if there's an element there that you have not done, certainly you want to make sure that you're doing that. But there's so much more.
Exactly.
There is a plethora of steps in this process, right? And so some of what we're talking about now are just the front end goals, And so I like to think of things that you do on the front end side before you even get to where you're submitting a bid and all of that. So these are just the basic administrative details. When you get to that place where you are ready to submit the bid, you certainly need to do some networking. That should be another one of the goals that you set. And so there's a whole, step-by-step phasing. And we can talk a lot about the networking process. Even in the early stages, I think a business owner should make connections with whichever agency they're looking to do business with, whichever government agency, and start having conversations to understand what their process is.
I think you're touching on some really, really good highlights for business owners who are listening. One of the things that I love is the networking part, but also the capability statement. That to me is, I think there's a point in time when you decide what networking event you're going to and which one does it acquire. Does it require me to bring my capability statement or my business card?
Right.
How does this look? And then every networking opportunity may not be for you to go to.
Certainly. And well,
know.
let me say this. With the capability statement, I tend to advise folks to, you go to a networking event and you network and you can give your business card. Having the capability statement is something that you can email to them afterwards. You've made the connection. So it becomes that secondary, I'm sending you my the follow-up. It's a great follow-up. But when we're talking networking, one of the things I often say, it can be fun to just be in a networking setting. But I often say to folks, don't be checking out the girl or checking out the guy. That's not what you're there for, right?
Right.
You should be networking to see if you can connect with a resource that is lacking in your business. For example, if you are someone who lay tiles, right? That's your area. Right. And you may not necessarily know how to write or prepare a bid, right? And so you're great tradesman or tradeswoman in the work that you do, but writing bids and doing a budget and the estimating and all of, you may not be, really skilled at doing that. And so you should be networking to find somebody who knows how to write or someone who's an accountant, networking to find an attorney, because once you get that big contract from the City of Miramar, you want to make sure that you know an attorney who you can say, hey, look at this document and tell me if it's up to snuff. So you want to network for the resources that are critical for building your business capacity.
These are great things to factor in when you're setting your business goals. These are great things to do.
Right.
And I think most often what you said was most business owners work their business very well.
Yeah, they know their trade.
It's the administration part.
Oh, yes.
It's that part that keeps them, that they don't have time for.
Right.
They don't have time to do all of that and run their business.
Right.
So I think there's a balance that has to come in there.
Absolutely.
And that's why setting goals will help you with that. It will help you balance out work and your administration.
Yes. I think a good measure is if you are operating a business, you need to dedicate, you're 5 days a week or whatever. There should be one day that is dedicated to the administrative side of your business. And some may say, no, I need to be making money, but you need to put in the time to take care of the administration, because if you don't have a solid foundation, the business will eventually fall. And I will say that, as we're talking about networking and accessing resources that can support you, chambers are a good way to access resource. I'm a member of the Broward Black Chamber, one of the founding members, and Shahiwa Jarrett is the founding member. And I'm also a part of the Florida State Minority Development Council. And I serve on the Penny Tax Oversight Board. And at Broward County government, they have a plethora of resources that you can access. The Chamber, FSMSDC, and at Broward College, we also have resources through BCEX, where we're helping business owners access resources, much needed resources, to guide them on a path to readiness.
What are some of those resources that you do have? So maybe someone's listening out there may not know.
Well, certainly I would recommend that they visit our
Their
Broward College
website.
website. But when it comes to business development, we have our BCEX, which is an entrepreneurial program that we have at Broward College for someone who is launching a new product. It's our way of guiding people through that innovative stage of launching a new product. And we've had so many success stories of students who come in and say, well, I want to be a business owner, and as a result have been able to access the resources that we have at the college to help them on that path.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. So I'm just so excited about what you're doing and what Broward College is doing to help our business community as well.
Absolutely.
And I know that it's a passion of Broward College, and especially you, when you see the success stories and hear the success stories of businesses who have gone through those paths and has made it.
Yes, first of all, I must say, I'm very passionate about business owners. I think they're a special kind of human being. because it takes a lot of courage to decide that you want to go ahead and start something. They're innovative to begin with. They're creators. They've decided to create a new business and then have the courage to almost risk everything to get that business off the ground. And when done well, and I often say to business owners, don't build a business simply for you. You know, like I just want to make some money through my business. Build a big business. I want them to think big about their capacity to create something that will allow their business to employ, right? And so, you know, one of the reasons why at Broward College we support entrepreneurs is because they're the workforce creators. They're the job creators of our community. And so when we're able to build strong businesses, more jobs will be created.
You know, I'm one of those people that if you give me a task, if I have an idea, I run with it. Like I go, you know, and I'm just like, okay, let's get started on it.
Right.
But I want to know the importance of timelines, like timing. And we hear it all the time. Timing is everything.
It really is. And, you know, and that's the thing. You know, a lot of people have ideas about starting a business, and all of these ideas probably just fall along the wayside. They're just not courageous enough to move forward, or they just get frustrated in the process. But to your point, if you operate with a strategy, you know, in the first 3 months, this is what I want to do. In the next 6 months, this is what I want to do. In a year, this is what I want to do. It really is important to have a schedule of activities that you want to accomplish over the first year, and in the second year, and in the third year. I often encourage business owners, when you're starting a business, not to quit your job in that first year. Give yourself a chance to build the foundation for your business, and it will be hard because you're doing double duty, right? You're working your job to make sure that that stream of revenue is coming in to support your family, and at the same time you're working on your baby on the side. So think of your business as maybe a part-time job, and put in the time. You know, you work a part-time job at maybe 20 hours. Put in the time to satisfy those goals that you've created. You know, we're talking about setting goals, right? And it's really critical in everything that we do, everything, right? You want to lose weight, you have to have a goal, weight that you want to lose, and you have to set a plan, and you know all the different things that you have to do. And so for your business, it is important that when you have an idea about a business, or if you've started a business, even if you've started the business already, if you did not take the time to schedule your goals and objectives over a particular timeline, chances are you're going to get frustrated, right? Yes. I know that when I set a goal to lose a certain amount of weight and I have that timeline, right? When I see the weight coming off, I can, oh, great. And it's the same thing for a business owner. If you decide that in the first 3 months, I am going to get a capability statement done. I'm going to Google it and see what it looks like. Or you can call me, and I'm sure they could call you, and you can give them an example of what one looked like. Right. So they could start with, I'm only going to accomplish 3 things. And, you know, I have to say.
Realistic time goals, right.
Right. I tend to work in 3s, right? I do that Trinity thing. I tend to work in 3s. I set, in any given day, I give myself 3 things that I want to accomplish. If I accomplish those 3 things before noon, great. I can set another list of 3 things. But maybe just decide in the first 30 days, these are the 3 things I want to accomplish. Accomplish them. It will make you feel some sense of accomplishment, and it will allow you to pivot to the next set of goals, you know? So it's okay for you to sit with your journal or notebook and just write on a list of all the things that you want to do, or all the things you've heard you should be doing, right? And then decide, what are the 3 things that I need to do now? And, you know, some things take a longer time to accomplish, right? If your credit is not right, you may take 3 months, it may take 6 months, you may have to pay somebody to do it. You know, we don't know all the nuances of what might be required, but I think it's okay for you throw everything on that drawing board in terms of the things that you want to accomplish. You've heard Johnny talk about it. You've heard Anthea talk about it. You've heard, whoever it is that you're hearing saying all these things. Write them all down because, especially when it comes to government contracting, that process can be very daunting. It's laborious. We know for sure, but it's so worth it.
Yes, it is.
It is so worth it because most government contracts last anywhere from 2 to 5 years, right? And so you're able to garner a government contract. It will give you that consistent revenue into your business every year. And you want to be able to do that because it will help you to build the foundation.
And and the key thing there is once you get with one government contract.
Oh, that's key right there.
They're going to start seeing them. And then that's when you can start growing your capacity.
Oh, sure.
You can start growing your business because now this government says, okay, yeah, we use this company here. They did very well for us. We recommend blah, blah, blah. If you wanted to use them, they're great. And then next thing you know, you're in there.
You just said two really important things. One, once you're successful with winning a government contract, there are so many opportunities for piggybacking. It's a term that is used, right? Other government agencies will just kind of want to do business with you because you got a contract with the City of Miramar. The other thing is, and this goes back to that integrity thing I talked about, right? It is so important that even if it's a small contract, even if it's just a purchase order, and even smaller than a real contract, right? You're just using your credit card, the purchasing departments sometimes just want to rent 100 chairs. So they don't want to do a whole contract for that. They don't want to put it out on bid. It's just a simple purchase that they're making because government actually buy goods and services without doing the bid process, right? So, and this goes back to why it's so important for you to register with a government agency, because when you register with a government agency, they know that you exist, and they know that maybe they can only get 100 shares from you. They want to rent 100 shares, you're the person to go to, and they don't need to put it out to bid, because the bid process for them is also time consuming, right? But in those smaller deals is an opportunity for you to start building your relationship with these government agencies, right? Key. Go ahead and register. So make that an early goal. Get in the loop so they know who you are. Take a chance and go over what they have an event for business owners. Attend and start to meet the players who are the leaders in this government agency that you should be talking to.
Exactly. And when you're writing your goals and setting your goals, one of them should be building relationships.
Absolutely.
You said it. That's the key with any business owner.
Really?
You got to build. That's the whole purpose of networking.
Right.
It's not just to go in there and just to meet people, but it's to build relationships.
Build relationships.
So after you meet someone, follow up.
Yes.
Maybe go out and have a cup of coffee. Maybe see if they want to just go and talk more, explore more about what you do and what they're looking for.
Right.
And even if you go after a government contract and say you didn't get the bid, it's good to follow up and say, hey, what could I have done? What were you looking for? What could I have done better to set myself up for being successful in the next bid?
Johnny, you just touched on a really, really important point. Because a lot of times, I've met business owners over my time in this space, and they said, well, I'm not getting any contracts. Have you ever submitted a bid? No. They're not going to give it to me. I say, forget that. You need to submit your bid. Take a chance. Take a chance and submit the bid. You never know. But if you are unsuccessful, do not consider that a failure. Use it as an opportunity to go in to the procurement department or maybe the small business department and have a conversation with someone. Now, don't go in and say, you never give me the contract, and don't get feisty, right? You don't want to do that. You want to go in as a student and say, how can I do better?
Right.
Let me know. And just by you humbling yourself and wanting to be in that space to learn how to do a better job, it's going to have them pay attention to you.
Exactly. I've known a couple of businesses that have come through the city, and because of their relationship, by coming to practically all the events,
Yes.
getting to know people, in key places like in procurement,
Right.
and having those conversations with them, and just
Right.
building relationships. And we're not above ourselves to say, hey, there's a bid coming out.
Right.
We have a project coming up. Have you taken a bid on that? Have you submitted a proposal on
Right.
that? And so I think that's a really good thing to do. But also to make sure follow up is always you have to do follow up.
Right. And
you have to do that constantly.
Yes.
Constantly follow up. Constantly keep building that relationship. And when you come up and follow up, like you said, not to come with anger or upset. Come first of all. Okay, I'm coming up here to do two things. I want to find out what I could have done better, but also I want to build a relationship. I want them to like me. Like when I leave, I want them to say, "Come back and see us," or "Submit again. We would love we would love for you to do this again." I want to hear that when I
Right.
leave.
And you want to know something that happens sometimes? Maybe there's another opportunity that's coming up, right, with a larger contractor, and they remember you. And as a result, say, you know what? You may want to connect with this person. They want to bid, but maybe they can't manage all of it, and they can bring you in as a subcontractor.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And so the other thing, when you talk about building relationships, I mean, people do business with people they like and they know, right? And I often tell folks to attend pre-bid meetings.
Yes.
This is that early phase when a bid comes out and there is a mandatory pre-bid meeting. And maybe even if it's not mandatory, they just have a pre-bid meeting. You must attend those. Because sometimes you just never know where the opportunity may lie. And if maybe it's not directly related to your business, maybe it's a pre-bid meeting for a big construction opportunity. But that prime contractor, prime developer, or whatever, he's going to need paper. He's going to need a photographer. He's going to need, and sometimes they have some of this stuff in-house. But when you have sometimes goals assigned for them to do business with a certain percentage of small businesses, and that's the key. Most government agencies have some percentage of dollars that must be spent with small business owners, because the goal is to have some fairness in terms of how you're spending taxpayers' dollars. It's not to have all these dollars go only to large corporations. You want the smaller companies to survive. And so, these large corporations still need to engage with smaller companies. So going to a pre-bid meeting opens up another a nuance of a networking opportunity.
And also, touch on that a little bit more, a lot of local government have certain percentage goals in the contract for prime contractors to utilize small business owners.
Absolutely.
So you're right. If I'm a contractor and I'm a small business, if there's a prime contractors meeting with a local government, I think I'm going to go to it.
Attend it.
The reason why is because, well, if they need someone else, a smaller business to come in and do electric, do the electric wiring, or they need someone to do the HVAC.
Right.
Well, here's my card.
Right.
Please
Or
give me a
maybe
call.
they decide they want to help a small business owner.
Exactly.
And they might bring you in to just do a small portion of the job.
Right. Exactly.
You do that small portion like your life depends on it.
Exactly.
And hopefully you'll get a letter of reference from them, perhaps, and you just never know where it might take you.
Exactly.
And we've heard those success stories all the time. But the whole government procurement process, I know it can be somewhat intimidating to a lot of business owners, but I just want to encourage anyone listening that it really is important for you to take some time to investigate those opportunities, because they exist. Government is spending billions of dollars. Billions.
Yes,
billions of dollars.
The last thing I want to touch on is ongoing training.
Yes.
And advancing and upskilling yourself. How important is that to add into your goal setting?
It is critical. It is critical. I think that, when we're talking about all of the different community partners who are supporting, that exist to support small businesses, whether it's the chambers, they all have some kind of training opportunities that exists. I know at Broward College we're working with the Health Foundation of South Florida, and we currently have a program, the South Florida Anchor Alliance, where we have all of these government agencies that are a part of this collaborative, and we have created this ecosystem of resources, and we leverage those resources to help small business owners get themselves ready. And so there are training opportunities that's embedded in that strategy. I know the county does a great job training. I know the City of Miramar does a tremendous amount of work educating business owners. And many of your elected officials are strong advocates. They're pushing that all the time. And so there's so much resource. And I know sometimes it can all seem inundating, right? It's just too many, right? Choose the ones that fit what you want, and based on what you might be lacking. So if it's about financial management, then that's the kind of training you want to go to. Anything about bonding and credit repair, then that's what you want to go to. If you need to learn more about how to get certified or registered, then that's a training you go to. And you build from that. And based on the timing of your goals too, right? Exactly. So there's a lot of opportunity. And of course at Broward College, we have a whole plethora of opportunities for you to become educated, to learn different skills that you can use in-house to help your business be better, Awesome. So, and as a business owner, you have to be almost like a jack of all trades and mastering all of them at the same time, right? Because it's your business and you want to be efficient in everything that you're doing.
That is awesome. Well, yes. I truly thank you for being here today. You have enlightened our business community.
I hope so.
And I'm so glad that you are here to do that.
Thank you.
Setting business goals is very critical for a business if you want to prepare yourself, not even for just government jobs, but for any job, period.
Yes.
For your business, you have to set goals.
Yes.
And you have to make sure that you make them realistic, put them on timelines, and most importantly, don't rush the process.
Right.
Don't take so much of a bite. The one thing you don't want to do is go into a government job with the capacity being more than what you can handle and fail.
Right.
So
exactly.
you want to start up slowly and go. So when you do get that opportunity, you can knock it out of the ballpark.
Absolutely. And I would just end with this. I think a lot of times people think about starting a business primarily just to make money. And that's the goal in mind. I'm going to start this business and it's all about making money. And it should be one of your goals, certainly. But there are a lot of other goals that you must accomplish along the way to making that big goal, making the money that you need to satisfy that big goal.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, again, thank you so much.
Yes.
We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
We will have on our screen here how you can get in contact with Ms. Wallace of Broward Up, and she would also, if you can, let the listening audience know how they can reach you if they want to have any other questions for you.
Certainly. I often give my cell phone, and people say, "Why would you do that?" But I want you to call me if you have a question. And so my cell phone is it's 954-547-3845. And if you want to email me, you can at apennant, APENNANT @broward.edu.
Thank you so much. Also, for our business community, I'd like you to take advantage of registering for the Miramar Business Pulse. On the Miramar Business Pulse, you will find out all the information about what the city is offering and what the city has and resources and information that can help grow your business. It's MiramarFL.gov /Business Pulse. And also, we have an exciting new project that we're working on now. It is a great program. It is called Open Rewards Shop Local. How does that work? We have an app called Open Rewards Shop Local. How does this work is that you download the app, and for every time you shop at a business that is participating in that program in the city of Miramar, you get 10% cash back on your purchases.
Wow.
So the City of Miramar is paying you to shop with our local businesses. So download the app. You go to your app store and download Open Rewards, Shop Local, and Miramar. Register and begin to shop and earn money while you shop at any of our local businesses that are participating in that program. Again, I say to you, be nice, be kind, but most importantly, stay connected.
Thanks for listening to the Business Connect podcast. Be sure to visit MiramarFL.gov/podcast to join the conversation, access the show notes, and discover our fantastic bonus content. We would love for you to subscribe, rate, and give a review on iTunes. Until next time.